You also mentioned starting to work with restaurants. How does that differ, and what is the technology behind that? Do you have to build some extra software for that, or they just can implement the same as the users use?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and something that we're learning right now.
Mm.
There is a lot of overlap between a private collector and a restaurant, but there are fundamental differences in behavior when it comes to managing your inventory. Collectors will maybe go down to their cellar once or twice a week, or depending if you're a frequent drinker, maybe 4 or 5 times a week to pull a bottle out. Whereas a restaurant is doing so many transactions of wine every single day, that the behavior of how you interact with the seller is a little bit different. Restaurants require something that's going to do more bulk actions to your inventory versus a private collector. On top of that, something we discovered is that in order to serve restaurants adequately, we actually need to build a support for spirits into inventory.
I see. Yeah.
So that has actually kickstarted this whole project of bringing rum, gin, whiskey, cognac, like all the spirits into inventory. This will obviously positively impact private collectors because they'll be able to track all that too. But the way you consume those kinds of alcohols is different than wine. A lot of the times you're obviously not drinking an entire bottle of gin in one sitting. You're pouring out little bits of it, and then you're subtracting inventory from there. So a lot of it is quite different in that sense, and the way that you manage it. So we're exploring all of those things now. It's a lot more of a complex project than we would hope it to be, but I think that the payoff of a project like this will be huge.
I'm sure that the payoff is going to be huge. Just thinking about, I don't have the data. You might have like more precise ideas about that, but I would say that there are probably more restaurants in the world than wine collectors. So this could be an even larger market.
Yeah, and there are quite a few restaurants using inventory right now. So a lot of them do think that the current solution solves a lot of their needs, but in order to obviously expand that market, we need to get out there with all the features that are going to help them manage their restaurant inventory.
So how are you going to solve the issue with the spirits? They are going to be able to track the level. I poured like this amount from the bottle and keep the bottle in the. I see.
Pretty much, we're exploring different ways. Again, like we view ourselves as an innovator. We view ourselves as this might be an ambitious thought, but we think of us as the Apple of wine collecting.
Okay.
So we really want to find a cool, easy way to track the levels of the alcohol in a bottle, whether that be computer vision, it could be weight-based, even just the interface of subtracting the levels could be really simple. So we want to find a way to do this easily, and so that people don't spend, inventory management. The goal of good inventory management is to do the least amount of it. It's like golf. Yeah. Like the goal of golf is to play the least amount of golf possible. It's got the same thing as inventory management. So we need to make sure they're interacting not a lot with the platform.
Wow, that's a very counterintuitive thought.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very rare for especially in the software market, to be in this situation that the goal is for the users to not to use the software, but to use the least time possible. I think with the vision-based technology for tracking the amount with spirits, I think that would be probably the easiest, because it's pretty easy to calculate from a standard bottle. For even for the spirits, maybe they have every single spirit have a special shape, but once you know the volume, then with the simple image, I would think that this can be solved.
Other than the bottles that are not transparent, that's a different challenge. But see, as you think about it more and more,
the challenges come up.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe this is not the way, because if it only solves one segment, then it's probably not the best solution.
I mean, if it's works 70% of the time, that's good enough. If you're doing something only 30% of the time, that's a pretty big difference. So could still work, but it can't be the only solution.
Yeah, I see. Thanks for watching this video. You can watch the full podcast episode by clicking here, or watch another interesting video by clicking here. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section and see you in the next one.